Hello everyone. Today I'm going to conduct a session on the total quality management. Total quality management basically talks about doing the things right the first time and every time. Now, what is the need of total quality management? Basically, entire world is facing the problem of the quality challenges. Quality in the product and quality in services are not up to the mark. And that's why we are looking for maintaining that quality in the product and services so that we will be able to meet the customer expectations. So here is the session plan which has already been shared with you all. I hope you have gone through the session plan and you might be well aware with the learning objectives and outcome of this session. Let me start my lecture with the interaction. And let me ask you one question. How do you perceive quality? What do you feel? What are the hurdles in bringing out quality into the product and services? What are the key challenges? And what do you feel what we can do at our end to bring that quality into the product or services? So please, it's my request to jot down those points on a piece of paper so that we will be able to answer all those queries which has been arising in your mind at the end of the lecture. What is quality? So quality is how the recipients of the product or services use the product or services before buying, upon delivery, and after the delivery and use of that particular product. So there are different quality gurus who has defined quality in different ways. Some quality gurus talk quality as a fitness for use, some defined it as a meeting customer expectations, and some defined it as exceeding the customer satisfactions. Another way to define quality is superiority to the competitors when your product is excelling much better than other products which are available into the market. That's the quality into the product. When I see a holistic definition of the quality, so quality are the totality of the features and characteristics of a product or services that bear on its ability to satisfy stated and implied needs of the customer and meeting the predefined specifications or predetermined specifications. So basically, to tell you about the stated and implied needs, a customer has requirement at the time, and sometimes the implied needs may come in the future, which talks about the quality performance in those needs. And the predetermined specifications are decided by the manufacturer of that particular product or services so as to put in 100% to satisfy the customer. As I said, there are different quality gurus and their contributions. So Philip Crosby is a guru who talked about the zero defects into the product. He said that whenever you are aiming at particular product, you should aim at zero defect. It should be 100% perfect as per the predetermined specifications, and it should meet the customer expectations. William Deming, who talked about the PDSA cycle, that is plan, do, study, and act. It's a complete circle. You plan something, you do it, you study, and you review it and bring in your new plan accordingly. Then Joseph Juran, who talked about the quality trilogy, that quality can be built into the product if you take into consideration three things which are in a triangular shape: quality planning, quality control, and quality improvement plans. There is a Friedenbaum who talked about 3 steps to the quality. First of all, he talked that 90% of the responsibility lies on the management to bring a product quality. Management is responsible for having that commitment to bring that quality into the product or services, and thereby it is very important that they should have quality leadership and assigning the responsibilities according to the persons so as to bring the quality into the product. Feigenbaum again talked about bringing quality technologies. So there are modern quality technologies which can be brought into the organization to build a quality product. And then there are the organizational commitment he talked about. Organizational commitment is nothing but motivated employees. When the employees are motivated by themselves, they will try to bring the quality into the product or services. Until and unless you give motivational appraisals, awards to your employees, it is not possible to bring quality into the product or services. Then Ishikawa, who talked about the cause and effect diagram, basically he said that you should understand the cause which is hampering the quality of the product or services. Try categorizing those causes into different categories, maybe critical, major, and minor, and look into those critical and major causes which ultimately has an impact on the quality of the product. So we will discuss again in detail about those diagrams, fishbone diagram and other quality tools which are available to bring quality into the product. Before going ahead with the lecture, let me ask quickly to review what is quality. And there are multiple answers to it. You can choose the 3 right answers. You have 30 seconds to answer. After talking about quality, now we will move to the total quality management. So what is total quality management? Total quality management is a philosophy, and it involves company practices that aim to harness the human and material resources of an organization in the most effective way to achieve the objectives of the organization. So to summarize it, management approach, management centered approach, which is centering on the quality, and it is based on the participation of all its employees and members and aiming at long-term success, so that long-term success will lead to a societal satisfaction with your product or services. There is a typical process for achieving total quality management. So there are 3 components. First of all, management should have good policy and strategies for the organization. Like they should have a good vision, mission. There should be a proper leadership and their commitment to bring quality into the product or services. There are divisional objectives as per the departments. You have to divide the objectives and you have to bring together all interrelated activities so that you will be able to achieve quality at the end. Second aspect or second typical process of TQM is the management of the organization. There should be a proper organizational structure. There should be management responsibilities, management system. There should be information system. There should be proper communication within the organization itself so as to have a unified goal to achieve the quality at the end. And there should always be improvement of the organization. We should look for good working environment. There should be measurement of the performance of all the employees so that they will feel motivated. And there should be improvement objectives, improvement plans, and there should be continuous monitoring and review board in action. So when I talk about the typical process of TQM, it has 3 major components: good planning, good management and assigning the responsibilities, and there should always be improvement plans into your product or services. After discussing about a typical process, it is very important to implement that TQM into your organization. And there are 5 pillars to implementing TQM into your organization. First pillar is organizational structure. Second pillar is process management concept. Third pillar is measurement of performances. Fourth one is improvement planning techniques. And fifth one is training, continuous training to your employees. Let me go in detail with all these pillars one by one. So first organizational pillar is organizational structure. So there should be incremental improvement in all the processes by looking into organizational structure. There should be review of appropriateness of the organizational structure, that laboratory management processes are in place, methods are available, methods for resource allocations are available. There is a right human environment to work in. and there should be continuous training for all laboratory members, and laboratory procedures and processes are laid down on the documents so that anyone can refer these processes and procedures at time of need. Next pillar is process management concept. So when I'm talking about the process management concept, processes can be owner defined and processes can be customer defined. So there are owner processes and customer processes. Let me talk that responsibilities of management and process owners should look for purpose of each process, whatever they are carrying out. And there are customers to each process. For example, if I'm making a tablet, I need granules. If I'm making a capsule filled with the granules, then I need granules from the granulation department. So granulation department carries out that particular process of granulation to fed their product to two different departments. One is tablet department and another is capsule department. So there are need and expectations of those customers. Those are the customers for me. So those needs has to be taken into consideration before going into actual manufacturing. There are performance standards of the processes and measurement of the process performances can be done, which talks about the process efficiency. So subsequently we will go in detail with the process efficiency indicators. And there are improvement opportunities always lying in the product, whatever you are making, and you are supplying to your either internal customers or external customers. Third pillar important to me for TQM implementation is measurement of the performances. So it is very important for us to measure the performance of all the employees, measurement of the product, measurement of the organization as such. So there are certain key attributes based on which you can measure the performances of your employees, your product, your services, and your organization itself. Those key attributes which contribute in the measurement of performances are cost, time, flexibility, and quality. When I talk about these attributes which are to be looked upon during measurement of the performances, so that ultimately decides the process efficiency. So there are certain indicators which talks about the process efficiency, that you have been utilizing your resources wisely and you are delivering what is required by the society. So indicators of process efficiency includes labors, how many labors are working, whether they are working in the right way. There is a capital and material utilization. There is a screening process, readjustment, what is the waiting time, what is the lost time, impracticable tolerances, and excessive stock. If you have excessive stock of either product or material, that tells you about the process efficiency and process diversion. Then there are the measurements of customer satisfaction, which should be looked into very critically. So there are customer surveys which can be done on a periodical basis so that you will get a feedback about the quality of your product or services. There are customer complaints which can tell you about the product performance and service performance. So once you measure those performance, you will be able to build your product accordingly, and you will try to tackle those challenges which are hampering the product and service performance to the 100%. Important aspect is improvement of planning techniques. So always you should look for the improvement in your product, improvement in your organizational activities. And it is very important to bring into all the departments together so as to have brainstorming and so as to carry out activities in such a way that there should be improvement in the product. So these are interrelated improvement plans, and it involves entire staff from all the departments so as to bring improvements into your product or services. Last pillar which is important for implementation of the TQM is training. So there should be an environment for quality improvement. When you are looking for quality improvement, you have to give continuous trainings to your employees. You have to bring in new technologies, and that needs continuous training for the employees. There should be training to all laboratory personnel related to quality principles and practices, what they have to follow, what not to follow, what are the do's and don'ts available for quality gains. There should be quality improvement methods adopted by the organization. So those quality improvement methods should be known to each one of them so that they will be able to contribute accordingly. There are subjects of training, like your employees should be trained in management, technical, process, problem solving tools, communication skills, organization and awareness. So there is lot many to train about. Here is a quick quiz to understand what you received at your end from this discussion so far. So you have to match the related items with the descriptions. You have 30 seconds to answer. Let me go quickly ahead. So when I'm talking about the quality improvements, okay, quality improvements can be based on three different points. One is situation based improvements, another is problem based improvements, and third one is review based improvements. So when I'm talking about the situation based improvements, let me give you one example. If your product is costing very high, you are trying to bring down that cost of your product. Now this is a situation wherein your product is costly compared to your competitors in the market, and you are trying to bring the cost of that particular product down. You are taking into customer complaints, you are taking into consideration health and safety considerations. So those considerations should be taken into care, and you are trying to solve the problem associated with that particular situation. Another is problem solving technique, that is problem solving improvement is, for example, my product is very hazy in nature. I want to make it clear. So that's a problem. Problem is haziness. I want to make it clear product. And third one is reviewing your product on day-to-day basis. So when you are reviewing your product based on its performance into the market, you will be able to chart out your action plans so as to have quality improvement in your product or services. There is a set methodology for quality improvement. First of all, you have to involve entire organization. You have to have a brainstorming with all of them. You have to take them into confidence. Once you take them into confidence, once you decided a goal to be achieved by every one of them, you can start your improvement project and activities. Investigate possible areas for improvement, whether these are situation based or problem based, and then establish a cause and effect diagram so that you will be able to understand what is hampering your product quality, what is leading to the problem in your product. So once you will be able to understand the causes, you will put those causes in front of everyone so that they will be able to identify and categorize those causes into certain strata, and that strata can be taken care by these employees altogether. Then we initiate our improvement actions and we confirm the improvement. Once the improvement is confirmed, we are sustaining our goals of quality improvement in day-to-day activities. So there is an improvement process which can be divided into these 6 major points. First of all, you have to identify the problem. You have to evaluate it. You have to plan to solve that particular problem. Execute your plan. Check whether you have attained that quality improvement in your product or services. If not, you have to amend your plan accordingly. And again, try to plan your activity again by identifying the loopholes into the quality product. So there are certain tools for quality improvement which are very important for us to take into consideration. First among them is data collection form. So by data collection form, you are trying to take the opinion of your stakeholders maybe internal customers, external customers, your suppliers, your supply chain management system, and your own management, so that you will be able to get what they are expecting out of your product and services. What are the problems there within the product or service, so that it can be taken care by the department. Next is your affinity diagram, wherein we are trying to start the issue in the broad term, and we are trying to record the individual responses onto the small cards. Once there are individual responses, those cards can be stratified again, can be grouped together. And once you will be able to group related card together, then transfer the information onto paper, outlining by grouping. So that will give you a broad view, the area wherein you have to work upon more so as to get the quality. Next is benchmarking. So third important tool is benchmarking. You have to benchmark your product with existing product in the market, or you have to benchmark your organization with some other organization which is there in the market, or you have to benchmark your product to the competitors' product available in the market. So you have to determine the benchmark. You have to collect the survey, you have to collect the data, you have to conduct the interviews so as to understand what you need to benchmark with. Determine the best in the class for each benchmark item. And once you are able to benchmark yourself to something else, which is really a quality product or service, then you will be able to understand what is exactly loopholes in your product or services, and you will be able to communicate to your management accordingly. And there may be a proper plan which is to be taken into consideration for giving a quality output. Next important tool is brainstorming. So you are arising with a problem, you are putting that problem, you are trying to have 3 steps: generation and clarification and evaluation phase, wherein you are putting your problem, you are trying to generate the ideas, you are trying to resolve the issues with the associated problem, and you are trying to evaluate what will go best for you, what is best to be adopted. Then there are certain rules. I will not read all those rules, but it is very important for you to understand these rules for effective brainstorming or effective problem solving approach. First of all, you have to involve everyone into brainstorming session. You have to set them a purpose and urge them to express their ideas. Once they are expressing, don't interrupt, okay? Do not criticize any of the idea. And you have to record all the ideas. Sometimes even a stupid idea can work for your product or service. So you have to record all the possible ideas during brainstorming session and try to work on the best idea which is coming out of all those ideas. Next important tool is a cause and effect diagram. As I said, first of all, we are trying to understand what are the causes, major causes which are leading to a problem, and we categorize them. It is not possible for any one of us to take into consideration all the causes. So what we do, we can take care of those major causes which are leading to the minor causes in the product. When you take care of those major cause, ultimately your product is considered as a quality product. At least 90% of your problems are getting resolved by taking those causes into care. So we are gathering the data to verify the root causes, and those root causes are being tackled and being taken care so as to get the quality product at the end. Next is a flow chart. Okay, so we are trying to list out our activities and we are giving a flow chart whether to go for it, whether not to go for it. When we are going for it, what are the problems? Whether again we are able to resolve those problems by some or the way, yes or no. So flowchart gives an effective means of deciding your activities, and by deciding those activities you are giving a pathway towards the quality to your employees. So you will be able to reach that quality by taking into consideration those flow process. Flow for material, flow for personnel, flow for equipments, flow for organizational activities. Next is a tree diagram. Tree diagram basically talks about deciding a problem, major problem, which is the stem of your tree, and then you are trying to identify the subcategories for each problem. So you are taking care of most of the problems which are associated with the quality of your product or services, and you are resolving them one by one so that you will be able to compete into the market with your product or service. There are control chart as another tool. Control chart basically decides upper control limit and lower control limit for your process. So you are within that particular range, you are working within that particular range, your standards are defined within that particular range. So once that you are trying to restrict yourself within that particular range, you will not deviate from quality. Next is histogram. So we are trying to collect most of the data and we are trying to see which particular problem is happening, which particular cause is there which is happening subsequently. And if certain deviations are there subsequent and happening again and again, then you can tackle those problems very easily. And that will be the major root cause for deviating from the quality. Then Pareto diagram, which talks about the occurrences and their percentile. So we are trying to chart out in the Pareto diagram so that we will get an idea about the cumulative frequency of that particular deviation which is happening in your product or service. Scatter diagram basically gives you idea about the outliners. So to what extent there are outliners and whether we can bring them into the range. So we have to examine the pattern of the outliners. Even sometimes outliners are good to understand because that gives you idea for your process improvement. Sometimes outliners are happening not just because of material, sometimes they are not happening just because of equipment, sometimes they are not happening just because of personnel's deviation into the process. So we will be able to take care what is exactly leading to the outliners, and so that we will be able to take care of our process accordingly. So as I discussed, there are 7 basic tools, quality control tools, which will surely lead to total quality management in an organization. As I said, Pareto analysis. So I'm trying to understand which are the big problems, whether these big problems can be taken care by us. If not, what can be done best to solve that particular problem. Cause and effect diagram. What causes the problems? There is a problem, but there are certain causes which are leading to that particular problem. Whether I can minimize those causes and to what extent I can minimize those causes. Whether I can take care 100% causes or whether I can take care of major and critical causes which are leading to a problem. Then there is a stratification. So we are trying to understand how the data made up. So once you understand the data, you are trying to stratify it and you are trying to convey to your members so that they will be able to take care of that particular strata. There are check sheets which tells about how often it occurs and is done. There are histograms which tells about what do overall variation looks like, whether variation is a normal shape, curve, or variations are too high in a particular area, so that you will be able to tackle those variations. Then there are scatter charts. So what is the relationship between the factors? We are trying to identify the outliers and we try to establish a relationship between those factors. There is a process control chart. So we are trying to understand which variations to control and how. If I want to control a particular variation, in what limit it should be varied? What should be the limit? What should be the range wherein my process should go in? So there are certain benefits of TQM. We are having greater customer loyalty. We are having market share improvements, higher stock prices, improved process, higher prices and profits, greater productivity, better efficiency of operation, and thereby reduced service calls. There are reduced recalls from the markets. There are reduced returns from the market. Once there are reduced returns and recalls from the market, lesser the complaints, better will be the product selling into the market. Better will be the customer loyalty to your product. And ultimately that will lead to the increase into the profits of the organization. So here is a quick summary what we have discussed till now. So TQM is an applied philosophy. As such, there are no set rules that particular organization has to follow this, but there are certain guidelines. If you follow those guidelines, you will be able to surely implement total quality management within your organization. First important thing which is required for effective implementation of TQM is the management commitment. Once the management is committed, surely they will be able to bring in better technologies, better personnel, they will be able to recruit good personnel, and they will be able to bring in good material so as to get the good product at the end. We always strive to achieve the excellence, and once our goal is to achieve the excellence, automatically that quality will be there in the product. There are certain changes which are always required for improvement purpose, and there should be an effective way of bringing those change management, change control. So when we are talking about the change management, it is very important to note down what are the changes we have made and what is the ultimate effect of that change into the product or service. And also, what is the impact of that change into the customer satisfaction. So we should always strive for continuous improvement and achieve that excellence into your product. There are always opportunities lying for the improvement, and we should look for those opportunities and take those opportunities and try to adopt proper tools for the improvement so that there will be effective delivery of the product. So here is the quick assignment for all of you. Based on the discussion, I would like to request all of you to narrate the key requirements for achieving quality into the product or services. Quality is a journey which is ongoing in our day-to-day life, and it's not a destination. So quality can be tackled by taking care of total quality management principle. As I said, to summarize, total quality management has broad pillars, that is effective communication, there should be teamwork, there should be continuous improvement into a product, and there should be management commitment. Once management is committed and it has a proper leadership, it will be able to deliver a quality product into the market.